What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Too Good for Theaters video. Today, we're continuing our prospect breakdowns, this being the offensive tackle out of Boston College, Ozzy Trapilo. So let's get right into it. So starting off with Ozzy Trapilo here, he is 23 years old, 6'8", 309 pounds, spent 4 seasons at Boston College. Of course, this previous season played under Bill O'Brien, former Patriots offensive coordinator, so pretty familiar with the Patriots scheme. Of course, Boston College kind of played a little bit more of a pro-style offense. And if the Patriots were to target Ozzy Trapilo here, I think the switch between Bill O'Brien's offense and Josh McDaniels' offense would be pretty seamless. Of course, very familiar. Bill O'Brien actually was under Josh McDaniels when Josh McDaniels was here earlier on during the 2000s decade. So I believe that these offenses would be easily translatable for Ozzy Trapilo here. And taking a look at his draft profile here, very sound in terms of his technique, plays with good body control, very good hand placement, slides the feet well, very good arm extension, I would say, as well, and he stays connected at the top of his blocking. More so where he really struggles, similar to Ursary a little bit, is his knee bend and his ability to deal with speed rushers. He has average foot speed in terms of his sliding quickness, so he does have a tendency to kind of overcompensate, to kind of beat some of these speed rushers to the spot, which really allows for him to get hit with counters or stunts. But he is very good at identifying some of the twists and stunts of the defensive line. That was something that was noticed by plentiful of scouts. He is a very smart football player. Of course, he also played right tackle and not left tackle at the college level. I believe he actually played left tackle his sophomore season, but these previous 2 seasons, his junior year and senior year, he has been a right tackle for the Eagles. So it really depends on where the Patriots want to put him, at left tackle or right tackle. More so, I would be more comfortable just keeping him at right tackle. Of course, a third-round pick, you're not projecting to be your starting left tackle of the future here. But say when Morgan Moses ends up playing the rest of his contract here in New England, I think Ozzy Trapilo could certainly be a very good right tackle to step in. And even if the Patriots do select Will Campbell or possibly another lineman in the first round here, I would not mind double dipping at the tackle position whatsoever. Maybe have Ozzy Trapilo be your swing tackle off the bench along with Caden Wallace there. And I think that you could certainly justify it just based off how poorly your offensive line has played over the recent years. And especially with some of the injury concerns, obviously Morgan Moses is getting up there in terms of age, but even guys like Caden Wallace really did not play a ton in his rookie season here. So I think the more depth that you have at the offensive tackle position, the better. And especially with how poorly the line has played of late, I think that if you can identify Ozzy Trapilo in the 3rd round or even in the 4th round if he drops that far, which I don't foresee happening, but really in that 3rd round target, I think that he would certainly be a very good selection here for the New England Patriots. So taking a look into Ozzy Trapilo's 2024 campaign, he played in 12 games. He had an offensive grade of 76.8, a pass block grade of 80.5, and a run block grade of 69.9. He allowed 15 pressures, 12 hurries, 1 QB hit, and 2 sacks. And taking a look at some of his key games here, of course, the first game of the season where he played in 23 passing snaps, he did not allow a stat versus Florida State. He played in 35 passing snaps against Louisville, allowed 2 pressures and 2 hurries. And against SMU, he played 41 passing snaps where he allowed a QB hit, 2 hurries, and 3 pressures. Like I said before, all at the right fence or at the right tackle position there. And taking a look at his blocking scheme, he was much more familiar with the gap scheme, like I said before, Bill O'Brien and Josh McDaniels systems. Pretty similar. He took 273 pass or run blocking snaps from a gap scheme, which accounted for around 66%, compared to his zone scheme, which was 107 snaps, which accounted for at least 30% of his snaps there. So very interesting there. I think the transition would be pretty seamless between Bill O'Brien's offense and Josh McDaniels' offense. And even taking a look at some of his combine numbers here, his 40-yard dash, he averaged around or had a 5.21 40-yard dash time, a 10-yard split of 1.77, a 3-cone drill of 7.71, 20-yard dash or a 20-yard shuffle of 4.7, and 22 bench reps. So this is a guy who has pretty decent athleticism and pretty decent production out of college, and I think they could certainly justify him coming here to New England, familiar with the system. And I do think that he'd be a good culture guy, and Mike Vrabel would certainly like that. So it's going to be very interesting to see if teams start reaching on some of these offensive tackles or if they let them drop, because this is maybe not the top-heavy tackle draft, but it does have pretty solid depth in terms of the tackle class in general. So I think that Ozzy Trapilo probably falls within that 3-round range, and really anywhere teams can justify a 3rd-round selection on Ozzy Trapilo. So we'll see if he's available there for the Patriots, and we'll see if they choose to go that route if he is available. All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up this video on Ozzy Trapilo. We'll see if he is available for the Patriots in this year's draft class. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below of whether or not you think Ozzy Trapilo would be a good fit here for the Patriots. And hopefully I'll check you all out in the next one.